welcome to Mini Medi and happy 4th of July Independence Day. This is the Chicago area that I'm videotaping in, and it is an unusual 4th of July holiday for many people. However, it looks like a lot of people are hitting the road and doing a lot more road trips and a little less flying, as we are still in the middle of our health crisis. So a lot of people are struggling as we go through this holiday together in our own way. Some more chaotic than others, but we are all trying to make the best of it and all living our lives according to how we think is the best for us and where we're at in our mindsets. So this meditation is actually going to be on how to manage our worry and fear and to trust that everything will unfold, and also to do our part. However, I'm going to kind of focus on the less worry, and today is a day to celebrate, and we're just going to focus on that. It is a day of beauty because the Declaration of Independence was signed on this day and we are independent. However, I've been really rethinking that word a lot, and because I believe that the me should be replaced with we. I've always felt that because it is always about community. It all boils down to we have power standing together. And I guess I'm reminded a little bit of the family dynamic. If you have the mom and dad on the same page, it makes your life a lot better for the family dynamics. However, if you have one saying one thing and another saying the other thing, it becomes very confusing. And confusing is not a good place where children need to be, because then they're not guided, and you end up doing what you want to do, and that's kind of what happens. You grow up and you do what you want to do anyway. So some mandates are very vital to our survival. Like when we pull up to a stop sign, we expect the other people to stop, otherwise there's an accident, and then we do call the police, and we all have to sort it out and see who broke the law, who did not stop, or what happened in that situation. So I understand the psychology of everything we're going to as well. I remember when they made the seatbelt law, I got really annoyed, and I definitely rebuked that because I rode a motorcycle and didn't have to have a helmet on, but now in a car I have to have a seatbelt on, and because it didn't make sense to me. I'm one of them people who, in my mind, I have to make sense of things, otherwise I'm not as likely to do it, or I cheat, and a lot of people are doing that now, and that's why I get the youth that are doing it, because I was that invincible person, and it's probably why I'm not really cheating now, is because I've already been faced with death and more times than I care to admit here. So having to come to face with that and realizing I will die, and we're all going to die, and I actually have more of a will to live now, and I'm willing to do what I need to do temporarily, even if I don't like it, in order to have that big picture and have a longer lifespan. So that's why I am one of them people that goes out, and if I can't social distance, I'm definitely wearing a mask, and that's for health reasons and the health crisis. I also have a degree in science, so psychology, science, and arts. So I am listening to the experts in the health field and the scientists who have been through this. It's like my whole life, I kind of follow people who are successful in a certain area, and those are the ones I listen to, depending on what the crisis or the situation, the problem is. That's who I follow. It's like I ask rich people, how did you get rich? And then that's my blueprint. I don't ask a poor person about financial health, right? I don't go up to someone who looks super unhealthy and ask them for health guidance. I find someone like who I think is fit inside, outside, whatever I'm drawn to and I feel is my definition of health and fitness. Then I go up to that person. How did you get so fit? And especially if I see them really in a strong performance, like mostly the Olympian type, or someone who's just athletic and has endurance and strength. I want to know how they did it in a healthy way, basically. I don't want to hear from people who have, tried to cut corners and are abusing their bodies. Someone who's fit inside, and same with mental health and spiritual health and relational health. I want to go up to people who are, I think, in a dynamic relationship and say, how did you do that? And I love to listen to them. And it's very insightful, and you can then take what they say and apply it, and it works for them. The people have been doing this for years. AA, they do it, and look at all the people who are sober, because they just keep passing down the blueprint, passing it. This is what worked for years. So follow this blueprint, do this. And it's really not that complicated. It's when people try to take the shortcuts or try to do it with missing steps that they end up having problems. So that's what I like to talk about. I was a counselor in the past for addicts, and I always, when I did a men's group, I always played this one. It was very interesting to me, but it was a man. And we watched a short video, and then we talked about and how they all could relate. And it was a man who had gone through so much uncertainty in Chicago, so much uncertainty in his life because he just wasn't brought up wealthy at all. His mother struggled. His mother was an addict. His mother went to jail. Then he was raised by his grandmother, and he was running the streets. He just wanted to belong, and then he fell into a bad lifestyle, poor choices, especially as a youth, and not a lot of options, of course. So he ended up in a gang and ended up sleeping like in the streets and bouncing from house to house, and uncertainty was the title of his particular story. And I just liked it because I've always played that one because I had a lot of uncertainty in my own life, and I know it was a big problem for me. And to listen to the gentleman in the group, all of them could relate. And they also liked it because it was in Chicago. They've been there to a lot of the places, a lot of them. And they also went through some of the same things. They ended up in jail. That's why they ended up in the institution that I worked at. And it was always a pretty interesting group, especially because you could always get a couple people to participate and share and really open up. And that's key for all of us, to find someone to listen to. And that's how we start to grow and heal anything that needs to be healed. And worry is all of us can worry. Obviously, once you become a certain age, you realize everybody worries at a different degree. Some people worry so much it's really hard to deal with them. And it's sad. So have compassion for people who worry too much, because it is a waste of time, waste of energy, waste of mind space, and it is better to work through it as much as possible. The more space you can create in your mind, the more space that you have to fill with the positivities of thoughts of I can and I am successful, and all things are possible with God. And do what comes to you to do today. Know that God works through you. You have a lot of power to change. You know, this is 4th of July 2020, and you know, we are all going through a lot of changes, and I have faith that things are going to work out, and you have to really trust the process. You can't have that instant gratification, because that's a childish thing, and believe me, I get it, because I've been there. I used to do it all the time. I want things yesterday, I want it now, and you know, I was the biggest brat the biggest brat there is. Maybe I didn't even act it out, like a lot of people didn't even probably know I was the biggest brat, but I acknowledge I had the queen baby syndrome, where I want it now, and I want it yesterday, and you know, and then I learned a valuable tool from someone who was a lot older than me, and thank God I heard this in my 20s, because I heard the best stuff in my 20s. I heard the best stuff that made me think and take pause and really not act up as so much, and to really look at myself honestly. And I'm okay with being open and authentic with everybody, because it is what it is, and a lot of things are, you know, just a part of me. But one of the best things I heard, getting back to what I was saying, is in God's time, not your time, Robin. And I'm like, wow, because I do want things to happen in my time right now. And by the time I'm 25, I'm going to have a child. I'm going to be married. I'm going to do... And it's interesting, because I see other people do that. And, you know, I can actually give them a little bit of advice if they want it. Not everybody wants to hear what you have to say. So I always ask, hey, I've been there. Do you want to hear anything? Do you want to talk about it? I always ask people if they want to talk about it. It helps people so much just to be heard. So make sure that you take time to listen. It's one of the best things that you could do for somebody. And so this channel is basically for me to meander, I suppose, on various topics. And you know, worry, I used to be an excessive worrier, and then I learned how to better, you know, improve to a large degree, but is it 100%? No. Do I worry? Yes. Do I manage it? I would say yes, for the most part. I manage my worry, because a couple things. If I'm a prayerful woman, which I am, worry is a waste of time, because if I'm praying, then I should be trusting, correct? And worrying is a waste of time, I know that. And so I trust the process. So when I catch myself worrying, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. I surrender, I give this to, you know, my higher power, and whatever your name for it is, I turn it over. I trust. I know it's going to be okay. Life has already proven to me that I'm always okay, and things just work out and miracles occur, and I just keep creating that space and trusting the process. Trust the process. Know that in God's time, and know and affirm that yes, I am successful. Yes, I have all that I need. Yes, I am prosperous. Yes, I am open. Prosperity comes to me in ways I can perceive, and in ways I can't perceive. So all financial doors are open, all financial channels are free, and an endless supply comes to me, and I appreciate what I have. I always have enough, and I use what God has given me. And focus on what you have, and feel good, and feel blessed, and feel love, and feel joy if you can. Now, if you can't feel joy, then at least feel hope. Hope that things are going to get better. Things that it's going to be okay. Hope that one day you won't be restricted from travel. You won't be restricted from dating. You won't be restricted, hold that thought that you will have what you want. I have friends who want to have babies and want to be married. So, okay, have faith and hope that you will have that. You will be married. You will have children. You will have what you want, and do what you got to do to make it happen. It's pretty much it, and that's what a lot of people are doing now. They're like, okay, we waited for a long time, and that's it. And people just kind of do have a breaking point. And when you have enough people at your back, that army of 100 people at your back, boy, things can get done. And, I definitely just want everyone to do it, everything. All these changes are gorgeous and beautiful. I love it. And I just hope, and I am a part of that change too. Although I have rules that I believe things should be done in a certain fashion and not aggressively. So I'm all about change. However, I'm more of an assertive changer and not an aggressive changer, like the people that would throw paint on women, or men too. I suppose men wear fur. But you remember that when women were wearing fur coats, and then the animal rights activists, which I love animals, so I could see wanting to protect animals. But I would never throw paint on a woman because she had a fur coat and throw paint on her fur coat to ruin it. Now they've become the criminal, the people throwing the paint. Like, what is your point? That is not how you create change. So I'm not for supporting any type of aggression at all from anybody. I don't care what that's just not healthy in any way. I find that to be hateful. So hateful does not work for me or for anybody or for any of us. So I think we should always consider change and do it in an ethical fashion, and a more ethical and moral fashion. And it's unfortunate. Hate is so ugly, but it's unfortunate. It is part of a lot of people's dynamic. I know it's just not a good way to go through life, to be that upset. It is upsetting. There's a lot of upsetting things going on in the world, and I cry that terrible things happen. However, there is a good approach and a good way to do, a more positive way to create change, and to be realistic about what those changes are. But the best thing you could do is to do your part and to be part of the solution and not part of the problem or creating a new problem. On that, we're going to do a few minute meditation on how to manage your worry. So we always start the mini meditations with 3 deep breaths. So you can hold your hands out to your heart chakra, your center by your belly button, your power center on your laps, however you want to be comfortable. Try to not slouch and keep your back straight, and just close your eyes to limit some distractions, and take 3 deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. I trust that my higher power is in charge of this day, And I honor the 4th of July, and I am so grateful that I do have the independence that I do have, and that I am free to make choices that are best for me and for those around me. And I am mindful of other people's views, and I understand that not everyone is the same, and if someone doesn't think exactly like me, that's okay. That's actually wonderful. I can ask them if they want to have an adult conversation, why they think the way they do, just from a curious perspective, not as an opportunity to try to convince them that your view is right or argue that their view is wrong. That is not healthy communication. So if I notice other people cannot have healthy communication with me because they are coming from an emotional place or a domineering place, I just do not engage in those conversations, because silence is also a way to communicate with people. And you could just let them know, I'm not going to argue, or I'd rather have love and peace of mind than to argue, or I don't need to be right. That's an ego thing. I do what I need to do for myself today and for other people, and I celebrate in a way I find to be healthy and enjoyable and fun. And there's more than one way to wash the dishes or celebrate the day. Some people like it more low-key with their families and a little cookout, and some people like a bigger celebration, fireworks or the beach. But I am mindful that whatever practices I'm doing right now during this pandemic, that other people have the right to honor what they believe in. So I can respect that, and I do. So when worry rears its head, or fear that my beach will be closed, or I'm going to lose my job again, or I can't get a babysitter, or everything starts to become overwhelming. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going through a lot with their mental health, and people who are depressed or anxious are getting more depressed and anxious. So I know it's important during this, especially thinking about Independence Day. I know it's my duty to really reach out to people who might be struggling, even if I'm not aware, because they don't make it obvious. I reach out to someone every day this week just to check in and make sure they're okay, and just listen to them and talk to them and see if I can get people to open up more. And it helps with my own worry, because if you're alone with your worry, it grows bigger, and that is not something that you want to flourish in your mind and your being. So try to distract yourself, either by helping other people, watching a comedy. Just refocus your mind energy onto something positive, something that you're grateful for. Life is good. I'm so grateful I have life. There's so much to enjoy just in this day. There's so many moments of goodness. So I look at that and focus on that. And I manage any worry that comes by refocusing my thoughts and trusting and saying positive affirmations and prayers. And I have so much more power than I realized. So knowing that up until now, my life's always worked out, and I have so much to be grateful for. And I'm so grateful for the freedoms that I do have. And some of the limitations that I have are just temporary. And I can see the big picture and know that everything's going to be wonderful and work out. And in the end, everything's going to be better than it was. So I trust that, I believe that wholly, and know that that is true. That is true for me and for my family. And everything is just working out. It reminds me of the house that you're cleaning or remodeling, how things get so crazy and junky looking at first, and then it all comes together and it's better than it was. So I kind of think of it as a remodel. A remodel, a restructure, a reclean, however you want to look at it. That's just what just came to me as a metaphor. I love metaphors. And know how much you are actually loved and how much you have. You have everything you need. Use what you've been given and use it wisely, and think good thoughts. And happy 4th of July. And just say those affirmations that I am enough, I have enough, I am free, and I declare my independence today. Or even a better way, I'm going to celebrate Interdependence Day, the new holiday I made up and I love. I'm not sure if I want Interdependence Day to be on the same day, but I kind of like the shift a lot. A lot of shifts going on. On that, I just say thank you, thank you, thank you, and take a deep breath. And open my eyes. And I just want to say interdependence. I am environmentally pro. I want to do things for the health of the world and Mother Nature. So that's why I think of interdependence. People don't always understand, and that's why education is important. But educate your family and friends. Please recycle. And I want independence for nature and our environment. And do what you can for the environment today. I know there's a lot of things that are destructive for our environment that we do. And whether that's burning leaves or even some of these fireworks. And people, I'm amazed when I see a big corporation not recycling. And I've actually gone and taken recycling away on the down low just to get it out and recycle, because it's important in my heart to do what I can. If I see something in my path, then I do it. That's just the way I am. I don't really understand why everyone doesn't recycle, but I'm so grateful so many people are recycling, and a lot of people are doing their part and extra. So yay, I'm very happy about that. And it hurts me when I see things hurting. So we take, there's a way to live in harmony and not be so destructive through life. And bees, for example, we're losing a lot of things we actually need, and people don't understand that. Like, everything has to work together. Like, we need the sun, we need the rain, but we need a certain amount and balance. So I guess that's what I'm saying is we need restoration of balance in our minds, in the way we conduct ourselves, in all our behaviors, even in our work and play, and everything is about balance. We need sleep, a proper amount of sleep. We need a balanced diet, which a lot of people aren't getting, and that is a big part of our problems, I believe. That's why I'm very health conscious. I'm very interested in health. I have always been into health. That's just part of my skill set. And I've been like that since 7th grade. I remember since 7th grade, I've been into fitness and health. And not being skinny, not that. No. About being strong and being capable of doing physical activity and being strong and able to do those things, and endurance. And now I'm into also strength of mind and being mentally fit, and knowing what you feed your soul today and your body today is important for what we're creating tomorrow. Basically, what we do today is important for what we become. So what you are now is really a product of everything that you have been doing, and you have become what you are. So today you can start changing some things. Make a couple positive improvements, even if it's taken 5 minutes to lay in a child pose in yoga for 5 minutes, or 5 minutes of affirmations, 5 minutes of no thought and just breath. 5 minutes a day can change your life. And on that note, I will say goodbye and thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so, and I will see you next time. If you have anything you'd like me to talk about as far as another mini medi, please just let me know. Mini medi, MINIMEDI 333 at gmail.com, and you can contact me there with any thoughts, and I will see you next time. Happy, safe 4th of July, social distance, and if you can't, please mask up for other people and for all of us.